Yo. Greetings, everyone. L'enfant. How you guys doing? Sorry I'm late. I had to do my nails. Hey Kelly, hey Zumbi. Hello people on Instagram, Romania, Mexico City, Chile, Kazakhstan. Yes, welcome. Yes. Warm up. I responded, Kevin. Sloppy. I took the day off yesterday. I did my nails today, so it's going to take just a second of adjustment. Little Poland. No lesson. Yeah, Brandon was just finished up his recording session in New York, I think yesterday. So no lesson. Tamina. Tell him. Tell him, Tamina. Share that shit. I'm just warming up right now, and then I'm just gonna practice playing it over and over again. think I cut my nails a little too short. And I fucked up the shape of this one. God damn it. Yeah, I heard that movie was ass. I heard Joker 2 was ass. It's too bad. The main criticism I heard was people being like, why make it? Like, why does it exist? But I haven't seen it, so, you know, I can't really pass any judgment. And Rush, yeah, we've missed you too, by the way. And Tamina, yeah, keep telling him. Keep telling him, Tamina. Share that shit. You're building up the energy to get up and make breakfast. Lady Gaga's a convincing girl next door. Sounding good today. Dude, thank you, Kayla. Thank you. By the way, the most recent clip that you posted of you shredding down, 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 down. Is that how it goes? Something. Anyway, that one. Solo was fucking excellent, dude. Hell yeah, this motherfucker's in drop D, dude. Dude, I'm playing Bach. You goddamn right I'm in drop D. Your drummer and bassist are always tight. Yeah, they're both good. They're both good. I think you guys sound solid. But you know, you're the star. You gotta just embrace it. You gotta just embrace it. Everyone's gotta just accept it. It's one of those things, you gotta just know your role. You know what I mean? Credit where credit is due. Absolutely. Everyone did a great job, but your shit sounded fucking tight. Like, I don't know if you've made some kind of a change to your lead tone, but I heard, or maybe you're just, you know, improving all the time, but like, I really heard, like, there was just like a connection and like an attack between notes, like on the any of the sections where you were like alternate picking, it was just really clear and just like fucking just fat and like, you know what I mean, like this. You got a 4x12 note. Okay, so maybe that's part of it, because it was distinctly thicker sounding, you know. You are living that big, John said. Ayo, that's what she said. Sorry. Daria, or Kayla, can I make you a mod so that you can post links? I don't know how to do that because I'm not good at Twitch. Oh wait, yes I do. I can say /mod and then at Dimebag Daria. You can share your YouTube channel if you want, so that people can go there and listen to your stuff, and Instagram too. Well, I made you a mod now, so now you can actually post links. Yeah, she fucking rips, guys. This girl shreds her ass off. She's very good. And she's got a cool YouTube channel, too. See you, Rush. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, like being on your own is fine, but being in a when you're playing rock music, especially, nothing beats being in a band. Like there's no comparison. There's no comparison. Like the feeling of just being in a room together, turning up, getting tight. Like when you start to feel the live room mix gel. Like when you start tweaking your sound, everybody's getting their levels right, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, we kind of sound good. Like there's nothing like that feeling. Do I remember the first time I jammed with someone who was capable? Yeah, of course. I think everybody probably does. It's like losing your virginity. It's a very important moment in a musician's life. Honestly, I mean, the past is the past, but that was for me was really when I jammed with Jared and Shannon for the first time, where I was like, oh, this is what it's like when you play with people who give a shit. You know what I mean? Where everybody cares a whole lot about how they sound. At least back then, you know what I mean? I would love to play with you. Tomo practice together. You signed my guitar on the concert in Vienna. Jared refused. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. Hey, Laura. Again. You want to hear my story, Kayla? My story's less interesting than you think. I can fucking promise you that. Just a big nerd. Weaseled my way over to LA. Weaseled my way into a big band. My story, I can give you the summarized version. I started playing in bands so I first started off as a violinist, very young. Violin and piano, classical was the beginning for me. And then I want to say 7th grade is when I started getting into electric guitar. I had a friend who, he was the little brother of my sister's best friend, so we started hanging out, okay? And at his house, his dad was in a band, and he was a drummer. And band practice was at their house for his dad's band. So they had tons of gear and like a lot of electric guitars, full Marshall stacks, like, but not just Marshall stacks, like all kinds of different stuff. Like they had Mesa Boogie amps, like the original ones, you know, like the first ones to, not the first ones for the company, like the first ones that were like heavy, like the DC-5 and shit like that. Lots of gear, lots of effects, rack mount effects, synthesizers, like just lots of shit, you know, because they were a band that like played out. And this was like I'm sure Guitar Center existed in some places, but not in Michigan. Like there was no place like that. So to see all of that gear in one place like that, that was just like, it was unheard of. And also, like, they had a PA, everything was mic'd up, so, like, you could plug in and everything was loud and sounded good, because they practiced there all the time. And they were, like, a good band. Like, they could play, the shit out of songs, you know? And so I was a classical musician, but I started to get into playing my dad's nylon string guitar, just, like, learning some chords and shit. Oh yeah, they were amazing. They were like legit. They were very good. Even to this day, I'm like, yeah, they were objectively a good band. Like they would do Yes covers and stuff like that, and they would do them well. They would play them well. So they were like a progressive band. All of them could shred. All of them could sing. It was, you know, it was like a proper old man band of dudes that just could play. Like it's Detroit, you know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of good musicians that just like work at the fucking auto plant. You know what I mean? Like they work at the auto plant, but they're like the best guitar player you ever heard in your life. It's very common in Detroit. Anyway, I started learning chords. I started playing. And he was into like Metallica and shit like that. Pantera I started listening to because I was the first chair violinist in the orchestra, and the first chair cellist, he was also like into heavy metal music, and so he would play like Ministry for me, and he'd be like, no dude, listen to this band from Texas called Pantera, they're amazing, you know? And I was just like, holy shit, like what am I hearing, you know what I mean? Like imagine you're in 7th grade and like the only thing you've really listened to up until this point is like classical music and nothing else, because you were like obsessed with it, and then it went like classical music and then Pantera, Ministry, Metallica, Black Sabbath. Like all of that kind of happened all at the exact same time. And then simultaneously, Nirvana was out. You know, the grunge movement was just happening. Like those bands all were putting out their first albums, or at least their first albums as the incarnations that they were, you know, that we know of today. And, so we decided to have like a hangout, and he was like, hey, you should come over to my house. I'll show you how to play electric guitar, you know? And he plugged me in. This is a moment I'll never forget. Nobody was home because the parents were working, so we were just there alone, you know, probably lighting shit on fire and like, because it's Michigan, so there's nothing else to do. And he plugged in it was a BC Rich, all black. It was so cool to me. Like it was all black, and it had neon DiMarzio pickups, like neon green DiMarzio pickups. And to me, it was like the most epic looking thing. Like it probably was like a $200 guitar, you know what I mean? But to me, it had a Floyd Rose. It was all black. It looked like Metallica, and I was just like, fuck yeah, you know? So he plugged it in, and he like, it was like, you know, like, like I picture it now as an adult. I'm like, the way it felt was like as if, hey Masako, as if somebody, like he was handing over like a sword, and he was like, this is the sword of 1,000 truths, you know? And I took it and I put it on, and he turned that shit all the way up, you know what I mean? Like just like fully all the way up, and he was like, just play this chord, you know, just like, you know, just open E, just like, blah. And it was like, to me, it was so loud, and there was like, because the way they had it set up was there was 2 full stacks, but they were on the ground, like not up on each other. They were just like along the wall. And then on top of the cabinets, there was like all of the rack mount effects, because they didn't use just amps. Like they had full rigs with like sounds and stuff. And dude, I was just like, "Bah!" And it was just like, people say this and like you probably think it's bullshit, but like I'm gonna tell you right now, I did that, and it was over. Like I never again in my life thought about the violin again. I still played. I continued to play all the way through high school, but it was over. It was like, this is who I am. This is who I really am. You know? I continued to take lessons on violin. I continued to take lessons on piano, but little by little, the electric guitar just started to like occupy the time. And then from that point until, so when I got to high school, I started gigging when I was 13, 14, something like that. I started gigging because in Detroit it was cool. You had like youth clubs where they were like 18 and under clubs, and you could go and play shows there, and they were like organized. Like there'd be like local punk bands and like metal bands and stuff like that. And it was cool because there was a scene. Because they were 18 and under clubs, they were always full on the weekend. So like you'd always play in front of people. It was never like, oh, there's nobody here. So you could actually build a following if you were good. And there were some bands that we weren't good, so we didn't build a following, but we got to play in front of people. But there were some local bands that actually went on to get signed and, you know, do all that kind of shit. But so I started gigging when I was 13, 14, something like that, playing these 18 and under clubs, playing bowling alleys. Like they would have, so this kid's dad, what they would do is they would let us sit in. So they would have these gigs at bowling alleys where they'd play all night, and then they would let us come and play like metal music for all these old people, and they fucking loved it. They were just all drunk bowling. They were just like, hell yeah, brother. So that went on and on and on. And then my first real band that like I took seriously, the first band that I had that like got like a local record deal and like we made an album and stuff like that, was in high school. I was 16. Yeah, what the fuck is up, Lucky Strike? Dude, exactly. Except it would be like, except it wasn't that. It would be like, what the fuck is up, 300 Bowl? Yeah! Bolorama! Yo, one of them, I'll never forget because I worked there when I was a kid. It was like, what is up, Thunderbird Lanes? That was good times. So yeah, then in high school, I had my first band that like we wrote all our own music, and like we took it seriously, and we played shows and like actually, you know, tried to build our own following, and we got a local record deal. We made an album. We sucked. Like it wasn't good, but it was, you know, like we really wrote, like we really tried to have songs, you know. We're getting there, Kev. We're getting there. And then after that band, then I left that band with the bassist of that band. We kind of, so me, the bass is kind of fucked up now that I think about it as an adult. Me, hey babe, can you pick that up what you just knocked over, because it's going to spill. The top of the cap is broken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So me, the bassist, and the drummer of the band that I'm talking about, we all left and started a new band with this other guitar player and this other singer. Shar G, thank you for following. Welcome. We left together. We were like, look, I don't feel bad about it. I feel bad about it only because it wasn't cool, you know? But like when you're that age, like you're fucking brutal. Like you just don't give a shit, you know? And the truth is he was an alcoholic and he partied. Like all he wanted to do was drink and party. And we all wanted to like be in a band and like make it, you know? And for him, it was just an excuse to like go to bars and play, and like we just weren't about that. Like we wanted to fucking perform and like actually get out of Detroit. Anyway, so we left and we started the band that I was in right before 30 Seconds to Mars. Okay. So this band was actually pretty good. We actually were building a following locally. We're like all around Michigan and regionally, like we could play shows and we could sell some tickets. Even got to the point where like we would be, you know, like there's always like those local bands that get invited to open for people that are touring nationally. Like we were one of those bands. We'd get invited to open for like when they needed an opening band for somebody that's on tour at like a theater or something like that. We would get to be that band. Okay. And, but then that band also got like not serious, except this time it was everybody but me. And I was just like, fuck this, dude. Like y'all got jobs, y'all like are buying houses and like having jobs. And I'm like, there's no job. There's just guitar. Like if I don't make it doing this, then there's nothing, you know, I'm going to like live on my parents' couch. And I was not about to do that. So I left that band and I was just like, no, I'm going to just focus on my own shit, you know, and practice guitar basically. But what happened is I got super fucking bummed out and depressed. And like, I pretty much stopped playing guitar for like a good year. And then I started to be like, no, I got to play. I got to like practice my instrument and like be good at it just in case. Right. And one of the things that happened with that band before I left, like 2 years before I left that band, we did a tour. Like we did a tour where we drove across America. And it was hilarious. Back in the day, there used to be this thing called, what was it called? The Musician's Handbook or something like that. It was basically like the atlas for like the musician's atlas. That's what it was called. And it basically was just like a big book of just all the venues. And we left Detroit, and as we were driving, we would be calling every venue in every town that we're about to stop in to see if they would let us play shows. So we were driving to California to play a showcase in LA that my sister and her boyfriend at the time had set up. And this is important. That guy is pivotal in this whole conversation. His name was Brent Bolthouse, okay? And so we're headed to LA for this showcase that got set up, the Viper Room, the infamous Viper. We couldn't believe it. We were like, oh my God, it's happening, you know? And we're driving across the country in a Jeep Grand Cherokee with a trailer and booking small shows as we go so we could stay warmed up and stay tight, you know, which was a great idea, by the way. It totally worked. And we played really well when we got to LA. Anyway, so we did that all the way there. Musician's Atlas, we get to LA and we play the showcase. And the goal was to get a record deal, but that didn't happen. But what did happen was we got the interest of this manager named Arthur Spivak. And he was the manager for 30 Seconds to Mars as well. Shannon was in the crowd that night and saw us play. And we became, I wouldn't say we became friends, but we became friendly. He knew my sister. He knew the whole circle. Like Brent Bolthouse, who was my sister's boyfriend, he and Shannon and Jared were all very, very close friends. So like all of a sudden we're like in this little bubble just of awareness. We're not hanging out. Nobody's talking to each other, but there's just like this awareness of like, oh, there's this group from Detroit. Ivana's brother is in the band and they're pretty good, you know? So the manager, Arthur Spivak, he's like, yeah, I want to work with you guys. I think I can develop you into something. And then like for some reason, this is something that will literally never make sense to me. That happened. We drove back home and then everybody was like, all right, we did it. Fucking success story. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the beginning now. Like, this guy's willing to work with us. Like, why is everybody now taking like, okay, like now we can just like relax. And I was just like, what the fuck? So a couple of years go by of us being a band still, but I can tell that I'm out. I'm going to leave for sure. And I leave. About a year goes by of not playing at all, just working bullshit jobs, smoking so much weed and just like ridiculous amounts of drugs and stuff like that. But then I start playing again, and one of the assistant managers from Arthur Spivak's office calls me one day, and he's like, "Yo, Solon from 30 Seconds to Mars just left the band. You should fly to LA tomorrow and audition." He's like, "I think that you can do it. I think that you would be like a good fit, you know?" And he was like, "Are you interested in that?" And in my head, I'm just like, what? I'm just like, there's a very important part to the story. Literally the night before I got that phone call, I took a bunch of ecstasy. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna sell all my gear. It's time to move on. I was like, I'm 22 years old. I haven't made it yet. If I haven't made it by 22, then I clearly am never gonna make it. Like, there's no chance. And I had like made peace with it. That's the thing. It's like I was on ecstasy and had like this very clear thought of like, it's okay. Tons of people don't make it, and like you can just like have like a great life, and it's totally fine. Like, you sell your gear, move on. And you know, like, find something else. And the next morning this dude calls me. He's like, "You should come to LA tomorrow to audition for this band." And I was just like, okay, this is clearly a sign from the nether realm. And I didn't have any money. I was like, oh, I don't have any money. Like, how am I supposed to get to LA? So I stole my parents' credit card. I booked myself a one-way ticket to LA. I grabbed my guitar, and I left Michigan forever. I never came back. They were so pissed at me, dude. Like, and I hit up my sister. I was like, "Yo, I'm coming to LA. You gotta let me stay with you." And she was like, "Nope. You can stay with your brother." And I was just like, "Oh, what?" She's like, "Yeah, no, you can't stay with me." Not a lot of thought and planning went into this, okay? And yeah, I just kind of like was just like, okay, you have to just go for it. And the worst thing that happens is you fail, and then you were already like had made peace with moving on in life, you know? So I got there, and I was just like, okay, I'm here now. And I spent, I mean, literally 24 straight hours without sleeping or taking a break or doing anything at all, just learning every single 30 Seconds to Mars song to the best of my ability. And I realized, I was like, it doesn't sound like how they sound. I was like, I'm not doing it right. I'm like, I can tell I'm just not doing it right. This isn't it. You know, like when you play guitar, you can tell like it either sounds like what you're hearing or it doesn't. And I was like, I'm not doing it right. And so I start being crafty and devious, and I'm like, if I'm fighting for this, I have to fight for it for real and like be brutal. So I hit up Brent, and I'm like, dude, you gotta get me in a room with Jared so that I can sit down with him and convince him that I'm the man. First of all, I'm the guy, and two, for him to show me the way that he plays these songs, so that when I go to the audition, I can it resembles what they're like expecting to hear. And he was like, okay. Because like, mind you, I didn't know Jared, so I didn't realize that this was like a completely insane ask. Like, he really, in hindsight, it's so crazy because it's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck do you think you are? Like some weird, like, long-haired fucking metalhead from Detroit. But it worked, and he was like, "Okay, cool." You know, I guess he appreciated the initiative. You know, which he is that type. You know what I mean? Like he'll appreciate somebody going for it. You know, and so I get there, and I think I woke him up. I'm pretty sure I woke him up. And he pulls out his guitar, and he's just like showing me, and I'm showing him what I'm doing. And he's like, "No, not like that." And like what I realize is that he has a distinct way that he plays his guitar parts. You know, it's not like difficult or anything groundbreaking, but it is, you know, it creates a type of a sound. You know, like the way that he does it. And I got that information. I gave him a little spiel. I was like, just so you know, blah, blah, blah. No one's going to work harder than me. I love the music, this and that, da, 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 da. Okay. but I got the information that I needed, and the audition was the next day. So I took the whole rest of that day. Oh, and I got him to lend me the black Les Paul so that I could practice on the guitar that I would use at the at the tryout. When I think about it now, I'm like, how did this thing, like, it was just meant to be, obviously, you know? And he was like, yeah, that's fine, take it. He's like, bring it to the audition. So I got the black Les Paul. I went home. I had like this tiny little amp that I was just, and I just spent literally the next, I mean, I didn't sleep for 48 hours. I literally just practiced guitar for 48 hours. The next morning was the audition. I got there and my heart sank immediately because I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, I'm in LA. Like literally every single guitar player here is fucking really good. You know, like they're all better than me for sure. Every single one of these dudes is better than me. I'm hearing through the door and I'm like, yeah, they get it. Like they sound good. They'd walk out of the room and like they looked cool and I didn't, you know. Like I looked like basically like a Michigan militia member. And they like all look like rock stars, you know. And but then when I got in, I was just like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Like I'm comfortable here. I've been doing this for a long time at this point, you know. And I did the audition. I remember Shannon was in a really bad mood. I still don't know why. There's something had happened that weekend and he was pissed. Like he was not happy to be there. That's one of the things I remember. It made me like a little bit nervous. I was like, ooh, this is the person that I know, and he's like not paying attention to me. You know what I mean? But I played the songs. Matt was really nice and helpful. We did it. And then pretty much I went back to Michigan to just get some stuff. And Jared called me like the next day and he was like, get back to LA. You're in. You know? And I was just like, what the fuck just happened? And, you know, it wasn't like, oh my God, now my life is different. Like, dude, my life was so hard and struggled for so long. It was many, 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 many years before I even made enough money to pay half of the rent. But then we got big. I mean, it started to happen. Like when A Beautiful Lie came out and the song The Kill made it to radio, that was game over. From that moment forward, it was, we had we saw the light, the little sliver of light on the door, and we fucking kicked that motherfucker down. We were like, oh no, we're in. But that's my story. That's my story. That's how it happened. That's the whole timeline. This is a great question. Listen to Critter. Thank you, Shar. I appreciate that. Listen to this question from Critter. Do you remember a snowstorm in Iowa circa 2003? I love you. I should make a movie about it. I'm not allowed to. NDA, baby. It was a while ago. Dude, you're hilarious. I mean, okay, so 2003, that would have been my very first tour. So I do remember we were on tour with, if I'm not mistaken, with Chevelle and Pulse Ultra. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Chevelle and Pulse Ultra. And that does line up because that was... Wait, no. I don't know if that was it. That sounds accurate. That might have been it. I mean, like that era was such a blur. I didn't know anything. I was so green. I had no fucking clue what was going on. Like it seemed like everybody knew what they were doing except for me. Yeah, I did many times. Daria or Kayla. I keep calling you Daria. Many times, Kayla. Lots of festivals with those dudes. And I was too scared to talk to him every time. Yeah, too scared. Many times I had been, dude. There were situations where I was standing directly behind Vinnie Paul, like in catering, and just like, just became fucking butthead. You went to see them in August. It was awful. Oh no. Yo, Netty Booms. Okay, I talked for a long time. I haven't played guitar at all. I need to practice, guys. Were you touring with the band for Lollapalooza '03? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was like that tour, which was so amazing. God, it was so fun. Because I was just like to be around so many bands that I loved. It was the first time that I was like, damn, dude, like I'm really doing it. Like Incubus, A Perfect Circle, Jane's Addiction. What other bands were on that tour? Dude, a lot. I don't remember. Those are the ones that really stuck out to me because I loved them so much. It's okay, Kayla. Jurassic fucking 5. Yes, exactly, dude. Queens of the Stone Age, I think maybe as well. Like, dude, it was, yeah, Queens of the Stone Age, Perfect Circle, Jane's Addiction. Who else did I say? Incubus. There were some other kind of like hipsters type bands that I didn't give a shit about, but they were good. Like I gave credit where it was due. I was like, yeah, they're pretty good actually, but I didn't care for it. Phantom Planet, I think. No, not Phantom Planet. The other band that was like had similar members. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, got it. Kings of Leon. Thank you. Yes, they were there as well. Yeah, that was a good time. That was really cool, actually. It was like I said, it was like the first time that I was on a real tour with people that I really looked up to, like people that the year before I was just like going to see in concert. And I was just like, holy shit. Yeah, no, for real. I would just like, because I'm not that type of dude. Like I'm not like super cool guy, sociable guy. Like I'm not that kind of person. Like where I'm just gonna be like able to go like talk to people. I'm super awkward. You know what I mean? That's so great though, Kayla. I need to figure out how to slow that part down better. working with Logic. It was really cool. Very humbling because, like, you think you're a good musician. Like, you think you're pretty good at what you do. And at that point, I was very confident. Like, we had huge international success. You know, me as an individual musician, I was like, I had played all over the world many, 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 many times. And, you just, like, you're in the studio with studio musicians. And you're like, oh, this is a different thing. These motherfuckers actually know how to play. Like, they actually know music. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. You know, and so it's very humbling. You're just like, oh, I'm really not that good, actually. Like, I do my thing, you know, I have my thing, but, like, these dudes are musicians. Like, they can just sit down and just fucking rip instantly. First take is amazing. Second take is totally different, and it's amazing. And they're just like, holy shit. So, like, hip hop sessions are humbling as a musician because it's all about the rapper. Like, none of the other shit really matters that much. It's just there to support the rapper. And the people who are making the music are so good. They're so fucking good at what they do that you're just like, damn, okay. Because in rock and roll world, it's like sloppy's cool. You know, vibe is more important than technique and skill and stuff like that. But in a hip hop studio, like, vibe is very important, style is very important, but, like, musical technique is very important. Like, you have to be able to play. You have to be able to play. Nobody is being a session musician in a hip hop session without being really good. You know, the only reason I was there is because we were friends. And because I had success, you know, with my other band, and they were fans of 30 Seconds to Mars, especially 6. Otherwise, there's no chance of me on merit alone being called into that session. No chance. Yeah, Kelly, it's true. I keep messing up at that part because I'm trying to remember to do something, and I keep forgetting until right at that moment. What I'm trying to remember is this. For doing pull-offs, this has to be down, so... request the thong. Oh, maybe he's not allowed to play them, so I didn't. I mean, I play them sometimes, but I'm practicing right now. I don't really feel like it. If you guys come every day, every single day of the week to my streams, I got tabs for this. Where's the tabs? Tabs? You could probably find them. I read music, so no big deal. No, no, you can probably find tabs for it. It's Cello Suite Number 1 Prelude from Cello Suite Number 1 for a classical guitar. If you go to, do you know what IMSLP is? You're like literally trolling. I expect to see a metal version of this with you and your drummer in 10 days. Masako. Thank you so much for your prime sub, Masako. I appreciate you, baby girl. Send me a DM with a link to it. I'll learn it for you. Thank you, Masako. I really appreciate it. It's hardly an improv ending at this point. Big on muscle memory. I mean, oh. Yeah, I haven't listened to it. I don't care. Kev. Yeah, muscle memory for sure. Like with classical guitar, learning the fingerings and even like where you're putting everything, it matters. It's like the equivalent of learning how you're going to do your pedal dance for turning effects on and off. It's kind of the same thing. Hello, Eva.
Yeah.
The key change where? It's actually not a key change. We're in. It's like an accidental. I can tell you exactly what's going on if you want. I got it all written down right here in the old Bible. So, basically what you got is the D sharp major minor flat 9 sharp 11. No, I'm just kidding. What is that beautiful man on the front though? It's fucking Christopher Parkening. Dude fucking rips. He is serious. He's good. Okay, so this is what we call a secondary dominant. So we go, we're in the key of D major. So it's going D major, and then we do a secondary dominant. And then it's an A7 chord where the 7 is on the bottom. We stay in A. So we're in D. 7. This is called a secondary dominant. What it basically means is you steal the dominant chord from another key so that you can get to A. It's like when you go, now you're in A. It's a fake key change because he's teasing A the whole time, but technically at this part, you're in D. That's the only part that matters, Kayla, is that it sounds cool. Hey, Scott. Yeah, the only part that matters is that it sounds cool. The thing is like from here, you're in B minor. And then now you're in D major again. Then you got a D7. Then you're in G major. Then you got a C sharp diminished. Then we go to D. Secondary dominant. A7. And then A7 again. And now we're in A for a long time. A. A7. A diminished. A. D. D. E7. A. So this is A. The 5/7 chord. And then A. A7. D. A. And then you stay in A for a long time. This is all A. Chromatic over A. D over A. A sus4. Secondary dominant A7. Home base D. So this ending is basically this. I was calling out the keys and the chords for you. You just have like a piece of drool coming down. Like some kind of a trigger. All ear. I didn't start learning theory until this year, basically. With classical music, you have to understand what's on the page, because so much of the interpretation will be tied to the theory. You know, like these composers, they wrote theoretically. Like they knew what they were doing theoretically, but they were just incredibly creative with their theory. So like my teacher, he says Bach is doing nothing groundbreaking here theoretically. He's like, it's the way that he weaves it together. This is why he says you should learn it. He was like, this is why you should just learn the campfire chords version of it. Minor 6, secondary dominant, the 1 chord A, 2 chord, 5 chord, 1, B7 in the key of E minor, F7, F sharp 7 in the key of B minor, the 1 chord in B minor. Oh, bring it here. I have to, sorry guys, I have to be a judo instructor. Okay, so this is the way, tell her to hold her thing closed.
What?
Tell her to hold it closed.
Oui, il doit faire comme ça
Oh,
et après
ouais,
il
ouais.
doit-
You go around this way. You go from the back, like this, and then you go like this, and then like this.
Oh, you're the best.
And then you go, hi, hi. Okay.
She just went to body yell that.
Do you guys see her in her judo uniform?
Vas-y, va, montrer. Il demande. Vas-y, fais ta pause, fais-toi comme ça, là, voilà, montre-leur. Ok. Allez, faut y aller, go.
Non.
Allez, go, on y va.
Non, j'ai pas envie d'y aller.
It's the best. It's the best.
Laisse la petite bébé.
The first time I saw that, I was like, oh my god.
Maman, maman, fais voir ton tel. Parce que moi, c'est mon valide. Hein? Moi, c'est
That's right, Kayla, exactly. Wait. Okay.
Allez, viens, fais.
Bon courage, Eva.
Merci.
au bord.
Allez, viens, on y va, bébé.
Maman, voudrais si tu l'es.
Where do we end up? Anyway, you get the point. The point is like, when you break it down like that, it's nothing that crazy. But the genius of Bach is how he weaves it together, like the accidentals, the runs that he does to get you to these new keys is what makes him genius. all it is, you know? Chuck, no. Bonjour, psycho. Yo, Deborella, thank you. Appreciate that so much. You're the best. And you're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's a good way to practice. I practice off stream as well, but this is like just a good way to kind of practice some detail performing stuff. But I do like more focused practicing off of stream. Cat wants to go outside, but it's got to wait. Find a cooler way to play that part. It's really fucking with me. Like, I feel like I have pretty good flow on everything except for that. Dan. Not exactly. I think that's a kind of a cool way to play that part, though. See you, Deborah. Thank you so much as well. It's very generous. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tamina. Thank you, Misako. Thank you, Indigo. Oh, Elisa, how many instruments do I play? I play, I play some instruments. I can dabble in many of them, and I can play only one of them well. But I mean, like, after you've been playing music for a certain amount of time, like, and you understand relative pitch, you can pretty much pick up an instrument and mess with it. Like I can't pick up like a trumpet or a trombone, but like anything with strings or keys, I can play it. At least at some like amateur level, you know. Donatella? Okay, you know what? I will. Tomorrow. Let's make the announcement. I'm coming back to 30 Seconds tomorrow. Tomorrow. You got it. Call the boys. Tell them I'm coming back. Nettie's like, no, ew. Masako, what do you think about that? As just an intro. So start a bit slower. Or I like your suggestion for the beginning. It feels good. That's a great explanation, Masako. Hello, 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 hello. That's perfect. Thanks, Lig. Ligma. Softer ending. I know, but there's something. This is the thing. The soft ending is exactly what you would expect in classical music. You would expect to just go. So that's why it's cool to be like. Yeah, it's both are good choices, to be honest. Both are good choices. You know, I can just be like whatever I feel like on the day, motherfucker. That's true, Dan. That is true. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I knew this would be the perfect pit stop to take my mind off. Yeah, and sorry I'm leaving now, but I hope you guys are all safe and being okay. To me now, I'm just not interested. I just want to play classical guitar and write code. I don't really care. I don't really have a deep desire to be in a band again. That's not something that's very like high on my list of important things. I did that. I did it to the highest level possible, and I'm grateful for the time. And now I'm really focused and excited about conquering this mountain. You know. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. All the new people that came, I appreciate it. Like I say always, I'm here every day, same time, same place. All the regulars, good to see you. And my Instagram people, sorry about yesterday, but I literally was so tired. I slept all day and then I was tired all night, and I was just like, what the hell's wrong with me? It's been a little bit gloomy, and I was just like, I was beat the fuck down. I built a Discord bot for Enzo and a Minecraft bot, and it just like it drained me because I don't know Python, so I had to like use a lot of AI to make it work. And yeah, I was tired, so I apologize to you guys. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place. Nettie, I love you. I'm sorry, but I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. Au revoir, motherfuckers.